Yes, sirree.
Welcome back to the Castlevania Ravenloft RPG. Last time we saw our adventurers, they were in the Valaki's Burgermaster's mansion, upstairs, in the room that they were that has the wedding dress in it. Also, a cursed mirror that Jeeves wanted to investigate.
Yes.
Um, but this is a pretty tense moment for Elias. Elias is a man who's inherited heresy. Not in the eyes of the Lord, but in the eyes of a church that would raise a sword for righteousness rather than tolerate those who don't conform to their ideals. There came a time when Elias had saved a young girl named Sypha from men who were slaying witches in God's name. On that night, some told tales of a naked woman on a giant skull in the woods not far from this slaughter, who laughed at these morbid events. Elias stands before that woman now, who has taken an interest in Stella Watcher. However, although Elias has always assumed the stories of the rumors of the strange woman in the woods was the cause of such injustice, she is claimed to only be a spectator to the witch hunt. Elias, what would you like to do?
Hmm. I'm thinking.
It's fine. We can come back to you if you'd like.
Um. Yeah, let's do that. This is gonna be complicated, I think.
All right, very good. In a very different location, Jack Motley was last seen in Castle Ravenloft. And Jack was left as collateral. Strahd had mentioned that he could stay in the room that Gertruda was staying in. However, it was kind of suspicious that Strahd led him immediately away from that area. As soon as the door closed behind Strahd and Jack, it wasn't very long afterwards before Jack was succumbed to a spell and his entire world went dark. Now that darkness is something his eyes are gaining accustomed to. Apparently, Jack, you were unconscious for some unknown period of time. And now you find yourself in an empty cell somewhere deep in the bowels of Ravenloft Castle itself.
Check myself over. Do I still have the equipment?
You still have all of your equipment, yes. It looks like you were put in this cell without all of your effects, assuming that you really can't do much with them. Or
Feel my
maybe
neck.
understanding that doing so would be against the will of your host and would maybe be at the detriment of your friends.
Feel at my neck. See if there's any puncture wounds.
There are no puncture wounds.
I sit up and start exploring my home, quote unquote.
Sure. Let me just describe here. You see a mold-covered ceiling as your eyes begin to adjust to the darkness here. There's only a scant candle here that produces only the most dim of lights. The mold cover ceiling hangs about well, hold on a second. Okay. Jack, it's not a very comfortable quarters, as this room seems to be filled with water up to about 5 feet.
Whoa.
Well, shit. I've been called all wet before, but this is ridiculous.
Huh. Yeah, let me read more about this water here. I actually wasn't expecting that, if you can't tell. I'm sorry.
And Jack is fairly short too, isn't he? He's like 5.5 feet.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't know how people get through life that short.
Yeah, okay. Sure enough, your cell is filled with water, and there's only 3 feet between the line of the water and the mold-covered ceiling above you. This 10-foot square cell, and the one that you can see across from it, the entrance is blocked by iron bars. It looks like you can see someone on the other side of the cell. There's a candle high on the wall with a very dim flame that just gives you enough illumination for your eyes to adjust to. Other than that, it's complete darkness. And Jack, it appears that you're suspended by your arms by chains up above you. So your hands are above you, keeping you from dipping down below the line of the water. So you're manacled to the ceiling, as is the person across from you. And the person across from you asks in a gruff voice, "Who's there?"
Jack Motley.
Another toy for Strahd.
Well, I prefer to think of myself more as a entertainer than a toy, but not as good as a wing to a chained-up man.
Can you get me out of here?
Does it look like I can get you out of here?
I suppose not.
Oh, good, because that's exactly what I want it to look like. Acid splash at one of my chains above my head.
Right. The acid splash disintegrates the chains easily, and you find your manacled hands are... you manage to splash the acid in a way to completely free yourselves of the manacle. Your feet eventually find the bottom of this this dark water. You can't see anything under, really.
What's your name, friend?
I'm a mill.
The mill. Where are you from?
Well, I'm from the woods. I don't take residence in any of the villages in this land. An outsider.
You know, okay, look, I changed into a giant bird sometimes. Yeah, you can just speak plainly. It's fine. Trust me.
Very well then. I too change into a wolf.
Do you eat children?
We do not eat children. We take children into our pack. It's been quite the point of contention these days, actually. Kind of the reason that I'm hanging here.
Oh, do go on.
Let's just say I had a falling out with the new pack leader.
Ah, you're one of the ones in the cave. What the hell was her name? This is Logan saying. What is the name of the werewolf we met with?
Zuleika.
Oh, you're Zuleika's mate.
How do you know that name?
I met her. She asked me to come get you. We were going to be here anyway, so, convenience and all that.
So have you come to get me? Is she okay?
She's distressed, but otherwise okay.
I see. Can you get me out of here or not?
I can definitely try. That being said, if I do get you out, can we get out of here together? Are you strong enough to walk and everything?
Yes, I'll be as good as new as long as I can get free. I tried to transform and bust these manacles, but they're quite strong.
And I'm just going to assume you're not going to eat me.
If you keep taking your sweet time, I will think about it less.
I have my reasons.
I am a little hungry.
Okay, we'll find you some food, but one more question. Do you know this man? Do my trick with the scarred man image.
I can't tell from here. It's too dark.
Alright, fine. Acid splash his manacles off.
Alright. It works. It works just fine. And he drops down into the water and slowly rises up. When he rises up, he's no longer in a human form. In hybrid werewolf form, he wraps both of his giant clawed hands around the bars in front of him and begins pulling, trying to get free. You see he's not having a great bit of success, however, and the water level is obviously playing a role in trying to keep his head above as he's pulling these apart. He listens after a moment. You can see him get really frustrated and take a few good pulls at him before he slows down and then steps to the very back part of his cell.
Acid splash. The bars.
Acid Splash seems pretty effective, just like the manacles. So he goes at the bars again and begins pushing and pulling on them until one of them pops out. And he's able to squeeze through in human form. And once he gets on the other side, he gives you a look as if he's not sure if he can trust you or not. Not sure if you're even worth taking along.
Okay, number one, looking at his look. Number one, you'd still be there if not for me. Number two, I'm relatively certain I can get out of here without you, but I do like to keep my word. So what do you say we go pay Zuleika a visit?
I'm not used to making friends in these types of situations, but what is your name?
Jack Motley.
Jack Motley. You turn into a raven. We don't really like the ravens.
Yeah, the ravens aren't too fond of the werewolves, but you know who I just like more? A certain vampire.
I have my differences currently with Strahd, but I'd rather be on his good side. Escaping from here is not going to help that.
Would you like to stay? I'm sure I could probably fix the bars.
No, I could tell him that you're trying to escape. Maybe that would get me back in his favor.
Well, you could, but I really think you want to let me out instead.
Why is this, Raven?
Because I think that I know the pack leader, based on what Zuleika was telling me. And I don't really like him either. Is there more light over here? Can he see?
Yeah, he's closer to the candle now.
Make it happen.
Alright, Jack, cast an illusion. One of a face. That sort of like a sketch. Like a police sketch, only in 3D. And it's been told to Jack by many different people. Slowly getting better and better over time, more accurate. And although it looks very different than it started out as, the closer it gets to perfection, the more unsettled you feel, as you have thought that it is beginning to look familiar. It's only now that Emil points out, no, his scars were much worse than that. His face here, it looks more, I don't know, his cheekbones closer to his nose, his eyebrow that remains it's not shaped like that. It's more narrow and it's a little lower. And he begins describing.
Jack will adjust the image as he goes. Technically, I think I have to cast a new one every time, but with your permission, just shift little things here and there.
Sure, I'll allow it. It's been a pretty creative use of the spell, but once he starts putting the final touches here on this, you're certain there can be no other person that this is. Let me see. I want to do this justice. But once Jack Motley was known as Johann Bussa. Is this anywhere close? Johann Bussa!
Yes.
In German. Well, my angry German is still not a good accent. But Johann went from court jester to spymaster when he foiled a plot to overthrow his Herzog. The men responsible were imprisoned. Much later, the Herzog was torn limb from limb by the light of a full moon in his chambers. His investigation only produced one witness, a maid who had saw the scarred man dressed as a serf fleeing from the kitchen the next morning. Little did that Jack know that the man that he had defeated so long ago, Kirill Stoyanovich, the one who conspired to overthrow his Herzog, was the murderer he sought. His search was unsuccessful until now. But you're absolutely sure that that man, before the scars, was the same one that planned to overthrow your Herzog, and decided to let you in on the plot, knowing that you were in good with him. Unfortunately, your betrayal had led to his capture, and you knew that he was imprisoned somewhere in a tower reserved only for the worst of the criminals. That's where you thought that that man would meet his fate. But now, this description can't lie. It must be the same person.
I am so gonna shove a potato up his ass.
Emil says, "So you know him?"
Karl Zoranyevich. See, I'm not so good with that one myself. Jack will say it perfectly, but I had disagreements with him over who should lead a court some distance away. He had disagreements with me, and I sent him to prison. Afterwards, it seems he ripped my a man who had done me very good things in turn apart. Now I'm going to kill him.
Well, I've never heard that name before. To us, he is only known as Grizzlemane. And he's quite the son of a bitch. If you can help me slay him, regain my old position as pack leader, then you found yourself an ally. I trust you well enough to help you out of here.
Excellent. I think this is the start of something beautiful, Emil. Acid splash my way out of the cell.
Alright, your acid splash is pretty effective, but it's not what brings the bars down. It's Emil struggling with the bars for some time before breaking one and allowing you to slip through. And he says, "You changed small. Why didn't you just do that?" "Never mind. That's fine. Must not be the brightest raven."
It's
Anyways,
because
can you produce
my
light?
change was not total. I can. The illusion of light is light, so illusion of light.
Huh, cool. Another useful part of that spell. Alright, you can begin exploring the watery cells, but let's look back upon our other adventurers and see how they're faring. Elias.
Yes.
Have you thought about what you would like to say in front of Carmilla with your friends at your side?
Yes, I have. So as Elias is standing there, they can see the thought and confusion in his face as he's considering these words. And Carmilla's countenance and the way that she presents herself and the words that she says are very persuasive. Um, for some moments, he is swayed by her story, and he starts to believe that maybe she had nothing to do with this because of just how charismatic and strong she is. But at the same time, well, going along with that too, he's been with Alexander at this time, and he's seen that not all darkness can be evil, or necessarily is evil. They've seen some creatures of the night that have aided them. They've been with monsters that have not outright tried to kill them. So, for a time, he's considering this, but not before long, something comes back to him that reminds him, at the very least, he is 100% certain that this is a demon, and she cannot have any goodwill towards this girl that she's with. And he's still convinced, truly, that this woman did these things to these witches that he saved Cypher from. There could be nothing else. It was too unnatural what was going on there. No man could be as evil as the ones that were there doing that. I mean, he had seen religious persecution and the bad deeds of the church before, but this was well beyond that to his understanding.
Well,
So-
witch hunts aren't pretty. But you
Witch
know
hunts
that
are not-
at least she could have done something to prevent it, which wasn't done.
Yes, but not just the witches, but just the mass burning of just about everything there. It was a bit, it wasn't very ceremonious. It was more murder than a trial. But if that was normal, Elias would never have seen it before, and he's quite sure something demonic was going on top of his nightmare experiences of seeing the woman. Or imagining her as he thinks she would be. Of course, not as much as the fire itself and the dragon visions and all that. But there's always this idea of the woman in the background being the one pulling the strings. So that impression is too strong on his mind, and he comes back to his younger self when he first found that baby and rescued her from the fires and the trials. So after all that consideration, Elias raises his head and speaks up and says, "You make a fine case for yourself, demon, but I have no reason to believe what you say is true, and after all, I am a priest and you are a demon. Therefore, I can never trust you."
Demons are from hell. I was once a mortal, just like you.
And then something quite unfortunate happened beyond your will and changed you into what you are, I assume.
My story is only reminiscent of that here of young Stella.
Why do you so try to talk yourself out of this? Are you scared of me so much?
I have lived many lifetimes. Don't be so naive, human. If you
Naive
think
is-
that I'm scared of you, you're gravely mistaken. All I ask is that you make this easy. Easy for Stella to make a decision that she wants to make, not what others would make for her. And if that's not to be with me, it'll break my heart, but I will let her be.
You seem to have something similar to what Strahd can do to people, is have them under your control. I don't think she has a choice at this point.
Well, such power is within my influence. Don't suppose there's a way you would trust me, though. So why bother even trying?
I would agree. Stella.
Stella steps to where you can see her a little better. Yes. She takes off her cat mask.
Tell me the best that you can why you trust this woman.
She's been very kind to me, and she's offered me a way out of this.
In your case, I can understand that. It's not entirely unbelievable that you would find someone to take your case and try to get you out of here. I can see that would be very attractive to you, and that makes sense. I want you to understand my case, though, that I have a very dark and very depressing, very grim background that involves this woman, and I just cannot trust her. And as Elias is talking, I'm going to use the effect of Elias's background, which is the what is it called? It's the
Haunted one.
Haunted one. Yes. So she's seeing that in Elias's eyes as he's giving her this this overview of his past, how scarred and hurt he is by 100% what he believes is this one.
Yeah, she can see within you this this heart of darkness, looking into your eyes and seeing that you've faced some unimaginable horror. Well,
Please, I implore you, you must... I'm sure you trust this woman to some degree, but I have no reason to lie to you, and I have tried my best to do right by you the best way that we knew how in this city.
so you would have me wed that idiot that doesn't even look at me like a person. I'm just something to him, and I want someone to look at me like, I don't know, like Carmilla looks at me.
I would say this, I do not... You are not beheld to be with that boy if you don't want to. We can't make you do that. But I would ask you to do anything except be with this person. That is the number one thing I'm concerned about. It's not so much your future in this town. You could even leave if you wanted.
Where
Just
would I
not
go?
succumb to- You could come with us. You could come to the village of Barovia. We could take you to Kresk. We could take you to just about anywhere.
Carmilla looks at Stella, and she doesn't remove her mask. She just raises her chin a bit. Says, "Young girl, I started out in this world much like you have. It would pain me greatly. I don't ask many things. I don't take hardly anything in my time. I simply watch. I watch this terrible world tear itself apart. I would rather save you from that than watch whatever fate may have for you. Are you sure you don't want to come with me?" I normally don't involve myself in the affairs of humans, but I would even slay them if you would just speak the word.
Where is it you intend to take this girl?
Well, I have a place that's safe. Safer than the swamps that you last saw me at. Although, that would be a good temporary place to be.
Would it perhaps be in the company of your partner that you have? I believe a powerful vampire. He may be looking for someone like Stella to satiate him.
What information do you have about any other vampire here that's not Strahd?
To be honest, not a whole lot, but we have heard bits and pieces of information, and Strahd is now quite conscious of that information as he pulled it from my mind.
And what information would that be exactly? I find it funny. I think maybe some assumptions were made.
Well, all that we know for sure is that we have been aided behind the scenes by Death himself, and that some powerful vampire is in this story, somehow, I think in league with Death, it would seem, helping us.
Only one that controls the Crimson Stone can control death itself. How is it that you came to be in this land?
We were seeking a vampire. We were looking and following tracks, and we certainly did not come here by our intentions.
So you were following a vampire's trail when you arrived?
Yes.
Does this trail involve a butcher that had some sick tendencies to play with people?
It does indeed.
Well, that would be my last meal before I was trapped here. Although I assure you, that human was someone that you did not want to save.
It seems such from his hobbies, I would agree, but that is quite interesting that you are perhaps the one we were tracking.
Yes, and you'll notice upon that trail that all of those that I had slain were those that were due punishment.
You paint yourself such a pretty picture, don't you?
I just think it's a bit of a jump to believe that there's some powerful vampire here, enough that could control death himself.
But there is one strong enough to conceal Lisa.
And she looks over. You see her eyes behind her mask dart over to Alexandra. Well, perhaps you are onto something then.
We've been trying to find her from pretty much the moment we arrived.
And what if she is in the company of some vampire? What would you do?
I would like to speak to her if possible.
We understand that she is safe, and we have no reason to distrust this vampire. After all, he seems to be helping us, but Strahd is definitely seeking his destruction.
Elias, you see a shadow slink on the back side of the wall opposite from you, and it follows around the edge of the wall until it gets behind you and attaches itself to you.
Is
But
it
you
mine?
can tell, yeah, you can tell it's your silhouette. However, it moves independently of you. And Carmilla notices this, of course, and she says, "Well, is this normal?"
Not at all.
It's another matter.
Strahd took his shadow and replaced it with a puppet of his own.
Why did you tell her that?
I think that our conversation should probably be cut short. Unless you can take care of this business. Amber, what's up?
Ew, 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 spider!
Oh,
I swear to God, really?
Oh no, I don't know where.
is this something you would like me to take care of, or are you capable?
If it's within your power.
Depends on how much I want to reveal, I suppose. Now she's waiting for Elias to do something, to say something. Staring at you.
Did she ask him a question?
She's just wanting to know if she's the one that needs to take care of this or not. We can reconvene at a later time if that's more convenient.
Taking care of what exactly? You mean my shadow?
Yeah.
You can dispel this.
Very well. And you see that her dress furls in a very unnatural way, and giant red wings spread from behind her back. She points at the shadow, and flame shoots out from her hand. Hold on a second. The shadow detaches itself from Elias and begins fleeing. It goes under a near door and out of sight. And Carmilla says, damn it. I missed. I was trying not to hit you.
This may not bode well for us. It apparently can report directly to Strahd.
Well, my location is known.
Which
It's
would
no
make
longer
you a
safe here.
liability to turn Elias.
What's that, Alex?
which would make you a complete liability.
I suppose. Carmilla, are you saying your actions seem to be insinuating that you and your partner are trying to help us? What is your goal? What would you have us do here?
I believe that any information given to you now would only be served straight up to the ruler of this land. Even if
What
you didn't
about-
have your little shadow friend here, what's to say that you won't speak in undeath about what you know?
I'm gonna lower the volume again.
I'm afraid you and your friends are just a puppet here, just as much as Stella is.
Well, I'm sure you're aware that we have weakened Strahd and we seek to ultimately destroy him. We have means and know-how to do that. There's 2 more sites we could visit to completely weaken him to where he's definitely vulnerable.
What sites would that be?
There's one in the forest where the werewolves are, and there's one in the mountains.
What mountains?
Elias would recall the name of the mountain range that it's at. I forget.
Sure, that's fine. You recall there's 2 mountain ranges, Mount Baratok and Mount Gakis. Which one
It's
would
the
you
one-
like to tell her?
It's the one to the south of the Gakis one.
All right, that would be Gakis. So Mount Gakis and the werewolf den, you say. These are the sites to be purified to weaken Strahd.
Yes, and the one that was in an abandoned church building we have already taken care of.
This is excellent news.
There are a attack of a group of sisters, witches, that gave us this information that are also seeking the.
I am very familiar with them. You don't need to tell me about that.
Oh yes, indeed. You must be the one they spoke of.
Yes. Well, how do these sites become purified?
I'm afraid that's something I must do, or some other cleric. We have the information actually from a tome of Strahd himself that describes the process.
Well, I'm afraid we don't have much time. Strahd knows where my location is and that I'm a threat to his authority. Do you have anything to say before I give my goodbyes to Stella? If that's what you wish, Stella. And Stella looks at you and Elias and looks at Alex and says, "You seem to be on the same side. Is it so bad that I'm with her?"
Elias is momentarily dumbfounded by her seeming generosity and looks at his companions. He can't believe that this woman he was assured all doubt was evil is doing these things. I suppose that is all.
So you'll not stand in the way if Stella wishes to come with me.
It's not our place to make her decisions for her.
I'm afraid that was one decision I would still stand against. I would definitely allow you passage to leave and not raise my sword against you, as you've greatly helped us, but you must understand that my past, maybe if I was misinformed, maybe I've believed wrong my entire life, most of my adult life, but in my heart, it just feels so wrong to see another woman taken by who I think would do harm to her.
Well, you heard it, Stella. It breaks my heart. But for the moment, at least, I must leave you be and leave here under these conditions.
Perhaps
day.
after some time, after Carmilla has shown us that she is not who I thought she was, then you two could be together.
Perhaps in another place where you're only lucky that Strahd knows where I'm at, that you won't have the choice to make. I will take what I want, if that's what she would have. And Stella, you may be with me forever, for all eternity, if I had things my way. And she walks right past Elias, Alexandra, and Jeeves through the doors.
Wait.
What is it?
She reaches into her bag and pulls out the brush, Lisa's heirloom brush that she took from the mansion. Please, if you could, if it's within your power, give this to Lisa. Tell her her sister's looking for her and would like to speak to her.
I'm afraid I'm not going that direction, dear. You'll have to deliver that yourself. Now, I must be off. Oh, and I suppose, since you haven't been completely terrible this night, I should warn you that, the Burgomaster's son is enjoying a little bit of fun time with a woman other than his proposed. And with that, she walks out.
A little temptation.
A little temptation indeed.
Elias
Right.
feels his rage subsiding, and he's just feels conflicted. And his eyes are darting to and from, and he should be talking to Stella right now, but he's not.
Stella just goes and sits down at the vanity.
Perhaps she should go find the Burgomaster's son. Sounds like the description from my last fortune telling.
And with that, we'll check back in with Jack Motley. Jack, you can now explore the cells freely now that you've been busted out.
Was I unconscious long enough to qualify for a short rest or a long rest?
No.
Okay.
The last time you guys had a rest, when was that? You guys holed up in the tombs, the catacombs. So I think that's where everybody rested up. And that included a long rest, right? Everyone?
Yeah.
Are you missing something, Jack?
No, just that it didn't carry over what spells I'd used and whatnot. My sheet is completely blank.
Well, you
As
can
far
reset.
as-
You can reset all of that to where you're fully rested, and then subtract anything for acid splash unless it's a cantrip. Do we need to come back?
No, go ahead. Just thinking. All right. I guess start off with an investigation.
All right. What are you investigating?
Basically, as much room as we can make. Okay.
As much what?
We're just starting at the wall and looking around at this point, seeing if the way out is obvious.
Yeah, you see a door on the opposite end of this room, and then you see more cells. The cell directly to your west, it looks like shackled to the back of this wall is an emaciated figure in blue robes. Its spindly arms spread wide and head tilted forward. Long gray hair hangs down from the front of the dead man's face. To the opposite side,
No one I know?
no one you know. To the opposite side is another cell. You don't see anything but water there. Moving forward, if you want, unless you want to do something else. You tell me. Anything with these cells?
Not unless it looks like the long gray... You know what? Ask Emil. Think it's worth checking on him at the corpse?
I'm pretty sure he's dead.
Yes, but just in case he might have something valuable on him. Something that might help us escape.
It's always worth checking around for helpful items.
Alright then, acid splash the bars and let Emil pull them off.
Emil refuses. Oh, the bars. I thought you meant pull the emaciated man off.
Oh god, no. Acid
Okay.
splash the bars and let Emil
He
pull them
pops.
off, then check it over.
He pops the bars there. You can get in. The cell opposite of this doesn't. Its bars are open actually, but this one here, yes, the dead person here looks like he's wearing wizard garb, like a wizard robe. But it looks like, although some of the flesh still clings to his bones, the fang marks on his neck there show where his demise came from.
That's interesting. But nothing of value?
No, just his robes.
Alright. Then head towards what looks like the outdoor.
Go ahead. Can you move yourself? All right, there you go. You pass a few other cells, none that you take note of, unless you would like to investigate them. Otherwise, we'll
Just look at them as we go by.
Okay. As you walk past, let's see. Yeah, you saw something strung up in one of the cells to the left, partially hanging in water. The cell on the right in the middle was seemingly empty. The cell to your immediate left now appears to be empty, and the one to the right you see just dark water there. You can't tell much from what's in that cell, although just below the surface of the water you might see a little bit of something poking up. But without further investigation, none of those cells will produce anything more descriptive.
See if I can lift whatever it is poking out of the water with mage hand.
How heavy can that lift?
Roughly 5 pounds.
Okay. You come up with a femur.
10 pounds, but...
In that case, the femur has a little bit of armor attached to it. Looks like rusted plate armor.
Ugh, not useful. Investigate the door.
Alright. Let me see here. This door's... I'm assuming this door will be locked. But let me read. Oh, by the way, the cell of which you pulled up the armored femur, that one did have its cell. Like, all of the bars are locked on that one. But as you wade up to this door, you think that you might be able to push this open with enough force.
Inform Emil of that and let him try. If he's willing.
Sure. He begins to push on the door until it opens outward, revealing a dark hallway beyond. And the description for that is... here there is black still water that fills this arched area. The water's surface is dark, like mirrored glass, and it's disturbed only by the opening of the door and occasionally by the thwick of a drop falling from the ceiling. You can see on the opposite side of this is another door, and it looks like a hallway that spans to the left and right. The water here is 3 feet deep, so once you exit the door, you'll be able to incline a bit.
Can you see in the dark, Emil?
No, not very well.
Neither can I. Everything in my pack is probably wet, right?
Oh yeah, everything's soaked. But your illumination is provided by your illusion of light, right?
Okay. Keep going.
Well, you can move yourself through as you wish. Ladies first, he says.
Ugh. Just roll my eyes at him.
Uh,
I know I'm pretty, but as I'm moving across the...
And as you say, I know I'm pretty, but you get to about right there. That's when you are teleported somewhere. Your world goes black, and you are currently underwater, head and all. You're not sure where you're at.
Try and take a half second to let myself float and go that way.
Go which way? There's you're not currently on this spot in the map. I've just kind of got you there because you don't know where you're at. But once your head bursts above the water, your light spell, it doesn't matter if it's wet, right? I mean, it's light. It's just an illusion. So your light travels with you, and you see a slightly entertained Emil on the other side of bars. He says, "You were saying?" Being teleported underwater and then not expecting it, you actually cough up a bit of the dark liquid.
I said I'm pretty.
Well, pretty boy, let's get you out of that cell.
Okay. Acid splash and go back to the door.
Okay. One jailbreak later, you're about here now, and you're wondering, why did I get teleported?
I'm guessing. Look around.
There's nothing here but about 3 feet of water. The floor seems sturdy beneath you, but once you went far enough in, not too much farther from your memory of where you're at now, you got teleported.
I think if I take another step forward, I'm going to teleport again. But I moved to a different cell than it was the first time. So,
Emil walks up next to you and says, well, chances are it's going to take you to the same place. We've already opened it up. You
Yeah,
want me
good
to
point.
go?
No, I'll do it. Just listen for the glug glug. Take a step forward.
All right, you can move yourself as you want. You're safe?
I see. Okay.
And there you go. Poof, you're underwater again.
Same place.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun. Okay, take a step forward and we should be okay. What do you think, left or right?
I don't know. Let's see here. You can see a little bit more to either side of you now. In this light, it looks like this hallway extends. Your light's... I don't know. How bright's your light, man?
It's an illusion of light, so call it 10 feet, maybe.
Oh, come on. I thought you knew.
No, it's, this is a alteration of the spell. Not an alteration, but an logical expansion.
All right. 10 feet. It's not very far. Yeah, you just see it extends to the left and right, and then you can see the door up ahead. Barely with that light.
All right. When in doubt, go.
All right. Left we go then. And you get teleported again.
Son of a fuck.
Son of a fuck.
All right. Well, while you think about that, let's go and check in, see how our friends are faring in Valaki. Stella looks at Alexander and says, God forbid anything happen to the boy.
You two go look. You two go look for him. I'll be here.
Okay. Is there any reason why we can't move our little figures?
I didn't mean to lock the figures.
Got little lines.
There you go. I meant to lock your scale, not your figures. My bad. I was wondering what those lines were shooting out at Jeeves earlier.
Yeah, I tried moving a little bit, but I was shooting lines instead. Do we have any idea where the boy might be? I guess he's somewhere in the party or somewhere.
Alexander just walks over to Stella and pats her on the shoulder. Your decisions are yours to make. Let no one ever take them away from you. I'll be around if you'd like to talk.
And she just looks over at Elias, like, don't really see how that's an option.
Yeah, sometimes we make decisions independent of each other, but I think you may find some useful wisdom in Alexandra. Elias is looking in the area north of him to see if he can find the shadow, if it's over there.
Yeah, you'll have to open a door. The shadow went under that door.
Okay, so there's a door right beside him then?
Right to the north of you.
Yeah, so I'll open that and look in there.
Okay. In that room... Oh boy, I don't have any of my descriptions linked to that map. I just realized that. No problem. I've got my DM map. This looks to be the master bedroom. Time has faded the grandeur of this master bedroom. The furnishings have lost some of their color and splendor. A short pull rope hangs from a wooden trapdoor in the ceiling.
Okay, so he's not going to investigate the room. He's just making like a cursory look around to see if the shadow's there.
Roll a, I want to say spot check, but perception check.
Okay.
Huh, 15. Interesting. You do see it. You actually see that it was kind of blended into the weak light cast by the lamp next to the bed.
Okay.
It cast a odd shadow of the banister of the bed, the footboard of it. And that shadow, you can make out a bit of a shape that looks humanoid. It doesn't know that you've seen it.
Okay, Elias just wanted to know if it was still there, if it had left to go do whatever it does, report or whatever. And it doesn't seem to be making actions against him and the party, so he's going to go back to where Stella is.
All right.
And he's going to say to her, I sincerely apologize for how that happened, and I know that this is not what you wished, but I would like to extend the offer to take you out of this village to find a better place for you.
Whenever you permit me to make my own decisions, I think I know what I would like to do.
If that involves going back with Carmilla, I can't allow it.
Well, perhaps she will make sure that's not a obstacle in the future.
And what if we made sure she wasn't an obstacle? What would you do to me?
What could I? My fate is certain and sealed.
How do you figure?
I'm to be married to the Velaki boy.
No, not necessarily. I could get you out of that. We could leave.
I'm sure
This
that a
place-
life in this mansion wouldn't be as bad as whatever you'd drag me to. The Valakoviches and the Watchers were the two most prominent families in this town. Even the state I was in, I still remember all of that.
You could start over with the Vistani. You could start it over in a new town. You could make new friends some other places. Anything is within your reach. This place, the politics of it, do hold some significance, but in the face of losing a young innocent life to whatever demonic purpose I think may be in store for you, anything else is better.
Alexandra, roll a perception check. Holy monkey. All right,
Wow.
Alex, the sound of the party, the ball, the live music being played downstairs and things, even above all of that, you have singled out an odd sound in what sounds like the attic. It sounds like the throes of passion.
Geez, I think I found our dumb friend.
Oh yeah? Whereabouts?
She points straight up.
Alright. I don't recall
Any
if I
idea
went
how to get in there?
That's what I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember if I actually went in the bedroom last time and saw the trapdoor. I'm pretty sure. We've been up there before, haven't we?
I think
Yes,
you were.
You've been up there.
Okay, then yeah. North to the bedroom.
Why is it not updating the client view? Oh, there it goes. Okay, yeah, you guys find the master bedroom. Same description as earlier. Short pull rope hangs from a wooden trapdoor in the ceiling.
Alright. After you, milady.
Oh, I don't want to be part of this, but what must be done, I suppose.
Okay. Stella just looks at Elias and says, "This is probably what's best for everyone if I just stay here. I've had it rough, but maybe with enough time, maybe I can learn to like this place. If I can learn to like anything."
Perhaps so, and hopefully we can straighten up this boy and get him back on a path that is at least acceptable.
And that's when Alexandra's head breaches the floor level of the trapdoor. Alex, you see there's a table here with... Oh, well, let me just read the official description. That's what it's for, right?
What, the table?
This dusty 20-foot square room has a high-pitched ceiling that reaches its peak 20 feet above. The wooden rafters in the are shrouded in cobwebs, except for an old table with a lantern on it. The room is empty. Alex, what do you want to do?
Well, the room can't be empty if the two of them are in there.
They aren't in there.
There's more rooms and beds.
It's not the only room.
I suppose I need to update the map. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I can see all of it.
I can see the whole map.
Okay. You guys had explored this place completely before, so I don't mind sharing the whole thing.
Suppose she'll head for the door.
All right. Suddenly, you hear a scream. It sounds like it's in the room on the other side of the attic here. But this attic is a mess. It's full of old, forgotten things draped in white sheets. Piled around them are barrels, crates, trunks, old furnishings covered with cobwebs and dust. You see a clear footpath through the maze, but it's extremely dark here. There's no light other than the open door that held the table lantern.
There will be now.
All right,
She
sunlight.
grips the whip.
All right, suddenly sunlight fills the room, and you make your way clearly through the footpath without disturbing any of the stuff on the way there. There's a closed door on the other side of this room. On the other side of it, you can hear sick smacking sounds. Sound wet.
Alright.
Is the door locked?
When you try to open the door, let's see if it's locked. Current door status is unlocked.
After you, Jeeves.
Yes, my lady.
Okay, Jeeves, she opens the door from you, or for you, and there was carved into that door a large skull, and it said, hanging from the doorknob, a wooden sign that says, "All is not well." And when you open when the doors open for you and you go inside, you see a horrific sight. It appears you're reunited with Lilith, as she is enjoying what is left of the young man underneath her, Victor Velakovich.
What's left of him?
Yes, a pool of blood is slowly crawling across the floor, spilling from the carpet that they are laying on. And, she's having fun with his corpse.
Well, Stella will be pleased.
I fucking told you all.
Well, Jeeves, this is your fortune, man.
It was.
It still can be. Hey.
Go deal with your wife.
Lilith stops and looks over, blood covering her face and all of her front, and says, "Oh, have you come to join the fun?" I don't do her voice
seems like
anywhere
I missed
close
all the fun.
as Alex, or as April does. So I'll miss.
Have you come to join the fun?
Yes.
Yeah, it seems I missed the fun.
The fun's just getting started if you want. I promise I'll be nice.
Cool your jets, old man. Let's go.
Yeah, there's really not much we can do for the boy now.
Oh, not staying. What a shame.
I'm gonna-
She looks disappointed, and then she returns to her activities.
I'm not interested in destroying you. You seem to have solved one of our problems quite efficiently.
Well, you're welcome to join in the fun too. The more the merrier.
Appreciate the offer, but I'm afraid I'll have to pass.
And she just smiles, understanding that you guys aren't going to pose a problem to her as she does what succubus do.
By chance, are you a friend of Carmilla, the red-headed one who just left here?
I know of her. Why?
What is it that brought you to this land, then?
This is my favorite part you're interrupting.
Then by all means, continue. We can discuss after.
And she continues with no complaints. Her passionate throws with the still warm body. She rips her teeth into his neck and digs her claws deep into his flesh. The look on Victor's face is not unpleasant.
This will end well.
Is he still alive?
You can't tell. He's bleeding a lot, though.
Well, you were saying corpse, so
Yeah. I mean, he's dead. But I mean, Jeeves is
She took
asking like
his
he wants
soul.
to take a pulse even after I said all that. So
No.
Pardon me, dear. Please don't bite my head off as I check the boy's pulse.
I mean, if Elias was there, it'd be a lot different, but he's not. So yeah.
Right. Hmm.
Jeeves,
Yeah.
come away. Let her have her privacy. I did say we could discuss things with her after.
all right, and if you start to leave, she closes her wings around the boy's body. I say boy, but he was old enough to take a bride, obviously. All right, Jeeves.
Jeeves, come away. What is he doing? First thing, run
Quit.
closer to the table.
He's lingering a little too long.
Dragging.
He's like, well, you don't get to see this every day. I mean,
Oh, the boy finally found some magic, I guess.
Yeah, I wonder what Stella's gonna.
Alex closes the door so she can have her privacy.
Potentially be put to
Speaking
death.
with her after.
all right. Well, it's nice to see Lilith again. Let's see what's going on with Jack. Jack, you get teleported. You find your way back to where you were previously.
So, Emil, I've decided that I hate teleportation traps. Let's try this way.
You did see on the other side of that for about 10 feet, though, that was a pretty large room. Farther than your light could really show you.
Okay.
Emil says, I don't want to have to explore this whole damn dungeon. Let's get away out of here.
That's the idea. Take very careful steps.
Poof. Once again, even on this side, it seems like you're teleported. You're holding your breath now whenever you start stepping in those directions, so you're not inhaling any water this time.
Try this side of the hallway.
That was when you first fell in, so poof, once again.
Okay, well, if
this is a montage of you coming up out of the water looking more and more pissed every time.
Shift into Birdman form.
Okay, you're slightly larger than you usually are.
Let me try something. Fly up as high as I can, then try and go over it.
Alright, that passes. You're on the other side now.
Okay, Emil, can you jump?
In this water? Sir. I guess, but don't laugh.
Don't worry. I'm a big gangly bird. Caw, caw.
Move out of my way. Alright, I'll explain, while Emil's trying to jump and not get teleported, the room that you're in. Dark, low shapes thrust up out of the still, brackish water that fills this 50-foot square room, the ceiling of which is festooned with hanging chains that look like thick black web strands. A balcony set into the north wall overlooks the room and has two large thrones atop it, with a velvet red curtain behind them. And the water here still is about 3 feet deep. And then Emil goes to jump over. And as soon as Emil clears it and sloshes a little further into the room, dark shapes begin to rise up. I'll just reveal this whole room despite the light.
Okay. Oh, this looks lovely.
Hmm.
Yes, as soon as Emil jumps in, dark shapes rise up out. Obviously, they are zombies. And I'll need you to roll initiative. I'll go get Emil. Where are you, Emil? NPCs. Here we go. Emil, you are not that faction. You are neutral. Alright, and I guess I can give him a better token. Hey Brent, you want to grab us some music while I'm setting these zombies out?
Sure. Maybe some Castlevania 1 for zombie action.
As long as we don't have to deal with any more Yoda zombies.
What about Chris Griffin Fleeman?
Gods no.
I was just staring at the succubus art after all.
I'll close that on my screen, but yeah, you can leave that open if you'd like. There's lots of great Castlevania succubus art, but I really like that one.
That's my favorite, yeah.
That's not even a succubus. That's Annette Renard in her vampire form.
Oh, I know. Yeah, we talked about that the first time we used it.
It works.
Hey, Emil, do you heal?
Of course. Let's do this. And when he says that, you can tell he's ready to go immediately after you, and you're going to be able to go first.
This is gonna be fun. Okay. This round, naked.
This round naked? What?
I said make it simple.
Oh. Eldritch Blast. That's a hit. And another hit. Ooh, nice damage. Let me see here. That is number 3. Let's see. That's what type of damage is Eldritch Blast? Force.
It's necrotizing, isn't it?
Huh?
Isn't it necrotizing?
It's force damage.
Yeah, Eldritch Blast is just force.
It says it in the roll.
Oh.
All right. Is that the rest? Is that your entire action?
Move up next to him,
Okay.
Emil.
All right. Emil shifts into his hybrid form, and he rushes to the nearest zombie and begins tearing it apart. He takes 2 big claws, slashes into him. The first one hits. The second one misses. And the first one does 5 points of damage, which, interestingly enough, is just enough to do this other thing. It's number 5. 20, 15. Emil sends one of the arms flying across the room and down into the water, so it splashes off in the corner somewhere. So he severed one of its arms. Next up, zombie time. And how far can they go? 20 feet. These guys are off just a little bit from... I'm going to shift everybody over. Makes sense. There we go. Alright, so a zombie is going to attempt to bite Emil. And hits, damaging him a bit, and then it attempts to claw into him and critically misses. Emil is going to take advantage of that and attack.
Can it just bite its friend that's next to him?
No.
That would have been funny.
Emil misses his opportunity, though.
Jeez.
Alright, zombie number 2. It's going to flank Emil and attempt to claw him and then bite him. The claw sinks into Emil, and the bite also sinks into his skin. Alright. When I say his skin, I mean his fur. Now, on the other side of Jack comes the closest zombie. It's going to claw at you and then bite you. The claw misses. The bite also misses. Next zombie. It sees Jax and goes for him. Same pattern. A claw is a miss. And so is the bite. Alright, another zombie. Number 5. This is the one that Emil hit before. It hits him with a claw. And bites him successfully. So you start seeing Emil being swarmed by these creatures. Now they're on all sides of him. They begin biting and clawing at him. And then, Alex, do you want to turn?
Is Lilith done yet? Can I speak to her or no?
You have a feeling that she's going to be on the other side of that door for a while. She was enjoying her favorite part. I don't know what that means, but...
Well, then let's give her some more time. Let's head down to Elias and let him know what's going on.
Okay. Mr. Jeeves, anything for you?
Nope.
Alright. Elias, anything for you? Roll a perception check.
I think I was just talking to Stella. All right, perception. Nothing.
Nothing. Okay. Alright. Jack, it's your turn again.
Okay. Can you spell hex? The one I already hit.
I'm sorry, couldn't hear what you're doing. I saw you spent sorcery points.
Yes.
Did you say you were casting Hex on one of them?
Yes, the one I already hit.
Oh, okay. So it's hexed. Alright, both are hits. Yeah, great damage there. Eldritch Blast, if it was,
+4.
if it was any more forceful, I think that one would have been done for. But yeah, both were hits. Did you do 2 damage? I only saw once.
I did 1, then an additional 4 points.
Oh, that's damage. Okay.
Yes, because of hex.
Ah, I see. The additional 4 points. I apply that? Is that correct?
Yes, the additional 4 points of necrotic.
All right, that's enough to send that one down under the 3 feet of water. So you have dealt with number 3 there. Anything else?
Yeah, if the first one hit, he would have casted that one instead.
Okay. Yeah, that's a hit. All right. Oh, you moved Hex? Is that
Yes. It's
I mean,
actually that is a good point. It's
Yeah,
only
'cause
1
you-
damage, but
I
let
know.
me no, the small things are important sometimes.
right, it's the same round that you cast it, so you had already chosen to target once in that round for it.
Well, it's not that. It's that it's a bonus action on a subsequent turn of yours to curse a new creature. So yeah,
Subsequent turn. Okay.
yes. So if I killed this one this round, it's a bonus action. My quicken spells are bonus action. So
Yeah, but it's a subsequent round, so it's not the same
Right.
round you cast it.
exactly.
All right. Okay. Well, that one has a little damage with it. The zombies are surrounding Emil, and you just see him start tearing into these things. The
Doing okay over there?
He doesn't answer. You just hear growls and the sounds of zombies being torn up.
Gonna assume you're doing fine.
Somehow he's missing. I don't know how. Alright, that's a hit. The one that only has one arm is about to lose something else. Let's see what it is. I rolled a 9. What does that mean? A 9 is the other arm. Now he has an armless zombie in front of him.
How are they missing? What, did you dress these zombies in plate mail?
No, Emil's fighting in the dark here. He's having problems with just Jack's light. Alright, now all of the zombies, they get to go. The zombies with arms, anyway, are going to start clawing into Emil. Trying to. And they hit. They're trying to do as much damage as they can to the man. But the giant werewolf is having none of it. The second zombie begins gnawing at him and biting. But Jack can't really tell from the sideline there what's going on health-wise with Emil. Number 4. Which one is that? Oh, that's the one in front of Jack. It's going to try to claw and bite you. The claw hits. He only slashes you for 1 point of damage, though. But that after he claws into you, he brings his face in to bite and misses.
The zombie tries to bite Emil. Emil just rolls his eyes and kicks his teeth in.
Bites him back.
They're biting each other.
You can tell he's not using his teeth for some reason.
Yeah, we don't need any werewolf zombies floating around, thanks.
What about were-raven zombies?
Critical hit.
I don't care. Peck its eyes out then.
Yeah, that's going to be another d20. You see what he knocks off. An 8. What happens? And a leg goes down. Alright, so that zombie has fallen prone under the water, but it's still unalive, whatever that means. Finally, the last one is going to take its turn. And bites into the man. Or the beast. It looks more beastly than man at the moment. Also claws into his back. Alright, next up. Alex, roll a perception check. You hear faint screams somewhere down below you. Mr. Jeeves, roll a perception
Lord.
check. Why does Mr. Jeeves have 1 damage on him?
Oh yeah, because I didn't quite fully heal, but 1's good enough.
You can tell Alex may have heard something, but you strain to hear it and can't. Elias, make a perception check.
Okay.
Very good. Being closer to the ground floor, you can hear there's some kind of commotion going on, and you hear a man screaming.
Okay, Elias will tell Stella to take care of herself and be careful because he hears something downstairs that sounds quite dreadful and he's going down to check it out.
All right. And just
Can
about
Alex
that
and
time.
Juice come down from the ceiling?
Yeah, you guys are coming down now.
And they may see Elias moving down himself.
Yep.
You heard that then?
What's the hurry?
Somebody
Yes, I heard.
screaming.
I heard a man screaming downstairs. It sounds like something's going on.
Yes, we heard a man screaming upstairs. The
Yeah, we got-
burgomaster's son is dead.
We got there a little late.
Wait, what?
We'll
We'll discuss it later.
Stella looks a little surprised.
Just imagine the lad stopping dead in the corridor. Wait, what?
Just so casually mentioning it, yeah.
Yeah, she's like, what? Victor's dead?
We'll discuss it later, Stella. There's more pressing matters at hand right now. Stay safe. Stay where you are, please. We wouldn't want anything to befoul you.
Lock yourself in.
Okay. And she begins locking a couple of doors. Alright, down to the lower level you guys start going. And we'll go back up to combat. Alright, Jack. It's your turn.
Move Hex.
Alright. Definitely does damage. And the bonus damage, is that something I'm putting on? Or are you doing
Yeah, it's the thing of the system. There's no way to add it.
Okay.
For me to add it.
Try dragging that dice on top of that zombie and see what happens. Oh, stop. Yeah, that didn't do it. Try the... Well, heck. Never mind. Let me see if I can do it. Yeah, I can do it. I can drag it right on it and it works. I don't know why it doesn't work for you. Alright. Anything else with your turn? That one looks like it's almost done.
Yeah, let's kill it. I still have the second beam.
Oh, okay. Well, you blast it away. It stands no chance of surviving.
Okay.
Alright, so how do you want to do this?
My fingers directly in its rotting mouth.
Gross, okay. Well, another straw zombie bites the dust.
Better not bite my fucking fingers.
Alright,
And
reaching
then
down into the water, Emil grabs the zombie that he had torn the arms and legs off of and rips its head off and chunks it across the water there. So there's one less zombie to worry about. But now it's their turn. Not making progress with Emil here. Getting closer, you can see he doesn't have a scratch on him. While these zombies look like they're clawing and biting at him, they're having no effect on him whatsoever. He's just enjoying himself by tearing him up at his leisure.
Okay.
Yeah, so all these zombies, they're still focused on him, unless you want to gain their attention. But yeah, they're all just ineffectively trying to stop the slaughter that is Emil. All right, Alex, you've seen Elias start to run for the nearest stairwell down. The music suddenly stops. Downstairs.
I don't like this, Jeeves.
Yeah.
All right, Alex, you're first. All right, down into the kitchens you go, and then out into the hallway. You can hear in the hallway, the ruckus seems to be coming from the room where you last saw Blinsky.
Oh, Lord.
All right, you enter and you see one of the guests has a dart sticking out of his neck and is unconscious on the ground. Blinsky is he's very surprised by your presence, and he doesn't know what to say. He's just pointing over in the corner at Mr. Piddlewick. Pidwick too is he's got his mouth open, which you've never seen before, and he turns his head over to you.
Dodge, go, run.
Any
What
immediate
happened?
actions?
What's going on? Piddlewick, what's wrong?
And then he just points at the guy that's on the ground.
Did he frighten you?
He shakes his head no.
Did he try to hurt you?
And he's shaking his head no. And then Blinsky says, the thing, it shot a dart into his neck, and he did a trick, and this man insulted him. He was not amused by his trick. And then it attacked
Well, why
him.
on earth would he insult him?
He can't appreciate good tricks, I don't know. And when Blinsky says he can't appreciate good tricks, you see the mouth on Mr. Pidwick too here close.
Okay.
I'm sure it was very amusing.
Elias, you're in the room too, and you see this man is he's got a darkness jugular.
Blinsky, you said that the man insulted him. Is that all?
He just said that it was a stupid toy and its trick looked lame.
Really? Is this what happened, Mr. Pidwick?
And he just says, shrug with his shoulders.
That was an awful thing of a man to say.
Yeah, blood is definitely coming from the guy's jugular, is pumping out onto the floor now. People are panicked, and lots of them are leaving the ball as soon as possible.
Elias, please go handle this.
Pidwick, you mustn't do things like this. Elias goes to the man that's bleeding and attempts to heal him.
All right, how would you like to do so?
Let's see. I'll be using wait a minute, let me look at the other people in the party. Nobody's really hurt. I have to use the second level Cure Wounds thing because that's all I've got left.
Elias, your shadow shows back up as well.
Okay, well I'm going to put this in the chat window, and this is what he gets.
Oh, well, that is more than that guy even has of hit points. So, yeah. You pull the dart out of his neck and say a quick prayer, bringing him back to consciousness, and terrified at the little clockwork man in the corner that has apparently just darted him in the neck.
Okay, so Elias, as he's doing this, hopefully that calms some of the people down, and he looks to Alexander, kind of hoping that he'll kind of pull Pivot to the side and maybe diffuse the situation. Blinsky, we perhaps should get Mr. Pivot to your shop sooner rather than later. We had no idea he was dangerous.
Oh, if you think it's safe for me to be with him, then, well, bring him on then. And he starts heading to the door. A lot of people are pushing themselves out of the front door. Not many people are left here at the ball. And you see a very disturbed burgomaster marching his way to you.
What was the
He's
last
perfectly
words?
safe. We spent hours with him. None of us bothered to insult him. She reaches down for Fiddlewick's hand.
Insult or no is no reason to kill someone.
I'm sure he wasn't trying to kill him.
The Baron comes up and he says, "What is going on here? What is all this commotion? I hear screams."
Just an accident, dear Burgermaster. We're taking care of it.
And the man on the ground says, "Their toy shot me in the neck with a dart."
Your guest was very rude.
Well, being rude, everyone go home. And he's saying that all will be well. All will be well. We adjourn our party. And he begins. He's not even concerned with the well-being of the man on the ground. He just kind of wants his reputation not to be spoiled by this.
Yeah.
So he's just trying to manage the damage of
Damage
this.
control.
Yeah, he's trying to do some ego damage control, and you can tell he's apologizing profusely to the man that was shot, but he really just wants him to shut up and be okay and on his way. It takes a couple of minutes before he's able to kind of host himself around and get everybody off and out of the mansion. You can tell he'll want to talk to you in a sec, but before that happens, we have some zombies to finish off. Mr. Jeeves, did you want to do anything during all that commotion?
No, I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut about what's going on upstairs.
Yeah. We
Okay.
can discuss it after the guests leave.
All right, Jack. It's your go.
Okay. Let's move that hex to zombie number 6, and then
All right, that's a hit. All right, good damage too. Roll a little hex damage with that. All right, additional 3 damage. All right, it looks like it still has plenty of unlife left in it, so yes, the second one's a hit. And ooh, minimum damage. Plus another 1. I'll add the 1. Okay. Yeah, you think you've made a lot of progress there. And you notice that Emil is sending limbs flying that are squirming to attack you guys if he can get a hold of you, but your attacks leave them intact, which is easier to deal with these things. But Emil seems not to care. He begins ripping into the one that you just hit. He hits it and kills it. He sends that one below the water. So number 6 is gone with the help of your damage there. And then he uses his remaining attack to attack the one right next to you, which hits and does just enough damage to do an effect. One of his limbs come off. Let's see which one it is. Rolled a 16, so that's what, another arm. Another arm goes flying. Jack, an arm splashes in the water next to you, still squirming.
Beat him with it.
And that arm actually is going to take a slash at you. Let's see. Actually, let me read how these limbs work on their own. Okay. Yeah, with disadvantage. It claws at you. Which is a miss anyway. And Jack, your measly 2 wound points healed up already, of course. So I'll take those off. The second zombie, it's going to claw and bite at Emil. But it seems to have no effect. Alright, Alex, what would you like to do?
Right now, she's just doting on Piddlewick, making sure he's alright and not too insulted or traumatized.
He points at the place where the guy was, and then Mr. Piddlewick is going to attempt to perform his trick for you. And let's see how well he does.
Honestly, I don't think it matters how well he does. She's going to tell him he did fantastic anyway. She doesn't want to get shot by a dart.
Well, he only rolled a 5 for his perform on his trick, and he actually kind of falls over and stumbles. And then he stands up and he puts his head down for a second, and then he looks at you.
She'll reach over and tip his chin up. That's all right. We all stumble sometimes. You'll get it better next time. Try it again. I'm sure you'll do just fine.
Okay. He's going to try it again. And he rolls a 12. He doesn't fall over, but you see that the trick that he was trying to do was just a simple somersault. And then he points at where the man was, and he does his thumb down.
Alex will give him a little golf clap anyway. You spent a lot of time alone up in that tower. As I said, we all fall sometimes. It was a wonderful trick regardless.
He just kind of stares off into space. You don't know what he's thinking. Mr. Jeeves?
I'm just going to applaud.
Okay. Elias?
Elias doesn't say anything, but he's thinking we can't afford the liability of this thing, and I think it's of more use to Blinsky to disassemble it and use it for whatever good we can use it for.
Well, don't let Alex know that.
I know. Yeah.
The Baron comes up to you, Elias, and he says, "There, mostly everyone is gone. This is a horrible night to a horrible way to end a night of a ball. I was hoping that you guys would bring merriment here. Instead, we have this incident."
Indeed.
I'm afraid there's quite a shortage of merriment, Burgermaster, but I'm afraid we have much business to attend to. You'll excuse us.
So you're leaving then, so soon.
Right.
Yeah.
It's fine. I suppose we can reconvene over breakfast tomorrow. My treat. Perhaps Jack can join you.
Alex
Doubt.
looks like she wants to mention what happened upstairs, so they're not blamed for it.
Elias looks at Blinsky and says, "Sir, we'll protect you on your way to your shop, or at least I will."
Blinsky says, "Well, I'm ready to go when you are."
Elias begins walking out of the mansion. Let's see. Jeeves, Alex, would you care to take the Goodwick to the shop now?
I suppose we should be on our way, but perhaps we do need to speak to the Burgomaster privately before we leave.
I believe you said something curious earlier. but I'm not sure what exactly is going on myself.
Yeah, Elias doesn't know, does he? Oh yeah, I guess he kind of does.
We told him in
Yeah,
passing as
he's
we were
trying to get
walking
out of
down the
this, but, you
stairs.
know.
Sir, I'm afraid something horrible has befallen your son.
You see that the lady of the house is also here with the Baron. She's just as concerned about how this party has ended.
As we were speaking to Stella upstairs, we heard an awful scream. Jeeves and I went to investigate, and your son has been eaten by the succubus.
What? Eaten succubus? Succubus? What? Eaten?
Up in the attic.
You mean Lilith, the same one?
No other.
There's this... What? I don't understand.
Your son is dead, sir. By the time we reached him, it was already too late.
Instantly, the both parents drop to their knees and wail.
Alex will reach over and try to comfort the wife.
Baron Velakovich says, "Let me see him."
He's this way, sir.
All right.
Wait,
see.
Alex, is the succubus still here?
She was indeed. Trapped up in the attic in that room with him.
And you defeated her?
We did not. The son is already dead. As far as we know, she's still trapped up there.
Trapped? She was locked in?
We closed the door behind us. And she seemed to be enjoying her meal.
I see. Perhaps it's not best for you to go quite yet, Burgermaster.
Can you save him like you saved the man with the dart? Please.
I've seen the succubus's work before, and I quite doubt it, but I would like to see this myself.
Even if we were able to resurrect him, the succubus has taken his soul. That's what they do. That's how they function. It's how they feast.
Our lineage is dead without him.
Elias is making for the stairs.
You still have the girl, Stella, if you were to speak to her.
And he doesn't know what to do. He's just sitting down and trying to console his wife.
Well, Alex was consoling the wife too, so.
All right, back to Jack. Jack, it's your turn. Ooh, a 1. A critical failure. That's okay, though. No ill effects. On the second one, though, it's a hit. Alright. And an extra 1 damage to zombie number 1.
I cheated and made it work.
Oh, did I accidentally give an extra damage?
Yeah, I just thought I'd let you know that I turned it into an actual damage.
Oh, cool.
Rather, I stole a different spell that had necrotic damage in it and used that.
Cool. Yeah, you can really kind of write up your own damage and weapons, all sorts of actions and stuff, you know. It's like, it's just like pen and paper. We can manipulate it pretty easily. It's just, you know, I don't know why it doesn't work like I expect it to sometimes. Like if you drag any dice roll onto a monster, I would think it would automatically know it was damage, but I guess you have to code it as damage first. It does say damage before, you know.
Anyway,
Sugarcoat the dice and damage.
then I'm done.
All right, so Emil is going to go after you use your hex and your Eldritch Blast on zombie number 1, and he's going to swipe his claws into it. You can see he's not biting these things. He's only using his claws, and the stench coming off of these zombies is probably the reason why. But both are hits. And it's enough to destroy that zombie completely. There's only one left. And it's going to ineffectively attack Emil. It's not the brightest creature in the world. It bites into him and claws into him, but you see no ill effects whatsoever. Alright, Alex, back to you. I think you were just asked a tough question to answer.
What?
Elias was asking about why you didn't dispatch the succubus.
Oh, she answered that.
We did answer that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright,
Because
so
it
are y'all heading up
made
or
a
what?
difference. Well, Alex was comforting the wife,
Okay.
but yeah, I mean, if the burgomaster really wants to come and see, he's welcome too. They'll lead him there.
I don't know. Jeeves, Elias, what do you guys think?
Elias is going straight up to try to kill the succubus.
I guess you'll watch.
Well, Elias will lead the Mrs. Burgomaster into the kitchen at least to try to get her a glass of water and a rag to dry her eyes before moving on, because she's not completely heartless.
Yeah, she might want to stay in the kitchen.
Yeah, not heartless. She doesn't mind succubus killing people.
Nothing could have been done to save him.
To save further people, you could, take care of the succubus.
You act like I had no intention of doing so. Am I not here now? Let's go.
I don't think you had any intention.
Are we going? Or are we just going to stand here at the foot of the stairs?
I was talking out of character while Elias is going up there.
Alright, so y'all are marching up the stairs, right?
Yeah.
Alright. Eventually you guys will come to the trap door, but not before Jack will be able to attack the zombie. That's a hit. And another hit. Alright. Oh man, that was almost enough just to finish it outright on your own as Eldritch Blast decimates this zombie. But it's Emil that gets the final hit in. We'll see. Well, I say that I hadn't done it yet, but it looks like it's going to happen. Yep, Emil sends its head flying into the water. He stays in this form and he just looks at you and growls.
Well, that was a decent morning workout.
Alright, just to recap the room here. It looks like this was some sort of torture chamber. You see all sorts of torture devices. What do you call those? Like, they look like sarcophagus with the spikes.
Maiden.
Yes, Iron Maiden's in here.
Just do a quick look to see if there's anything of use or value, and then, or another door. I'm not seeing one on the map.
No, there's no door. However, there is a balcony up there with some chairs and a curtain. Make a perception check if you're searching around for anything useful. And let me know how long you'd like to search around. It's a big room. All right. That's a pretty good roll. Let me see. Yeah, you don't really find anything useful except for if you want to torture somebody, this would be a pretty good place to do it.
It looks like an audience chamber.
Yeah, it does look like people would watch from the balcony onto terrible things going on below.
Fly up to the balcony and look behind the curtain.
All right. Emil jumps up there with you. And behind the curtain...
Is
let's
a
see.
wizard.
2 large wooden thrones rest on this balcony. Behind the thrones hangs a red velvet curtain, 30 feet long. The ceiling here is 10 feet high. And then when you open the curtain, you see it has a little room in the back with a door. I'm not showing this on the recording. Silly boy. Alright, there we go.
Open the door.
Alright. This is a very interesting room. Give me a second and I will reveal it all. My slow computer.
Oh shit.
This room is 30 feet square, rising to a 20-foot tall flat ceiling. A stone brazier burns furiously in the center of this room, but its tall white flame produces no heat. The rim of the brazier is a brazier is carved with 7 cup-shaped indentations spaced evenly around the circumference. Within each indentation is a spherical stone, twice the diameter of a human eyeball, and made of a colorful crystal. No 2 stones are the same color. Overhead, a wooden framed hourglass, as tall and as wide as a dwarf, hangs 10 feet above the brazier, suspended from the ceiling by thick iron chains. All the sand is stuck in the upper portion of the hourglass, seemingly unable to run down to the bottom. Written in glowing script on the base of the hourglass is a verse in a common tongue, which you can read. 2 9-foot tall iron statues of knights on horseback, poised to charge with swords drawn, stand in deep alcoves facing each other. The brazier sits between them.
Read.
All right. When you read it, the inscription: cast a stone into the fire. Violet leads to the mountain spire. Orange to the castle's peak. Red if lore is what you seek. Green to where the coffins hide. Indigo to the master's bride. Blue to an ancient magic womb. Yellow to the master's tomb.
Jack gasps and takes a step back.
Emil asks, "What is it? Let me see." And he goes in. I can't read it. What does it say?
Repeat it word for word.
Do you think this is a way out?
It's a way out. It's also a way to Strahd's tomb, which I'm sure is otherwise hidden.
Well, I'd rather not do that one.
I know, I'm just... Yeah, we could probably get out with this.
Loot, does that go to the witches?
I think Jack would be drawn to the red, maybe a bit more than the others.
Red, blue, and yellow. He thinks violet and orange could lead out. He thinks green is where the catacombs are, the room of many spirits.
Ancient Magic's Bloom does sound interesting.
Yeah, I think that's where the witches are, or at least one of the witches.
I think red is probably just the library.
If
Possible.
blue goes to the witches, that means out of the castle too.
It's a Castlevania teleport.
Look at Emil. It's risky, but it might be a way out.
Any way to the forest?
Offhand, I don't know. I don't think so. Not straight there. One leads to the mountain spire, quote unquote. That might take you directly outside. Orange probably takes you up to the highest tower. Red, I would guess, takes you to where the library is. Green probably goes to the crypt. Indigo to wherever the first bride is hidden. Yellow to the vampire's tomb. Blue, I don't know.
Roll a perception check. Emil says, "Do you hear that? Someone's coming. Hurry."
Gotta make a decision.
Violet or orange? Violet or orange? Let's try violet.
All right. You grab the violet stone and toss it in the fire.
Hold Emil's hand.
The flames turn violent. So where they were once white, they are now violet colored. You also see that sand begins to pour down in the hourglass.
Let's go. Then step in.
All right. As soon as you touch the flames, you're instantly teleported, as is Emil with you. And I will tell you where you appear next week.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah, next week is going to be interesting. What are you guys going to find in the attic? And where is Jack? Still separated from the party, but apparently has successfully escaped Castle Ravenloft.
You do realize I'm not going to be here for 2 weeks, right?
No, I've got vacation coming up soon too. We'll coordinate that on Facebook, but is it next week you won't be here?
Next week and the week after.
Are you
My
going
flight back
to
isn't until Thursday.
Are you going to Sweden?
Yep.
Oh boy.
April and Sweden?
Cool. All right. So for the next 2
My
weeks, huh?
flight's tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Wow.
That's
Well-
exciting.
I know what I want to do, but I don't know if I want to tell you guys just yet.
Well, we're not going to convene for 3 weeks, so unless you do a session without me.
I don't want to do a session without you. I guess we might have to take a little summer break because I think I'm gone for a week or two after you're back. Oh boy.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Well, violent, huh? Violent. What did that say?
Mountain
Violet
Spire.
leads to the mountain spire. Interesting.
I think you would have been better off with blue. I would have taken in one of the witches.
Oh, what's done is done now. All right. Well, I will reveal the location and everything next time we play. God knows when that will be. But as always, it's fun. I hope that Strahd's little shadow spy isn't super effective, because you guys really spilled the beans about wanting to purify the sites and stuff still.
Hey, it wasn't there
Alex
yet.
didn't say a word.
The shadow wasn't there yet when Elias was talking about that.
Okay. Yeah.
Alex did not
I'll
say
go back
a
and listen to the
single
video.
word. That was all Elias.
All right. Well, I have to go evaluate how loyal Strahd might think you guys are, especially.
Was there anything else?
No, we're done. Anything else?
Alex
Cool.
was doing nothing except what she said, trying to find Lisa. All of that, we're still trying to kill him bullshit came straight from Elias.
Before the shadow showed up.
Yeah, you might be right. I'll go back and review it. But yeah, so Jack has a new furry friend. Stella doesn't have to worry about marrying Victor anymore. Victor got off before he got off.
Wow.
Mr. Pidwick number 2 has he's pretty tough on critics. We have a broken family. We have a teleporting Brazier that has led us to some mountain spire, apparently. A lot of stuff going on. I hope you guys had fun this session. Until next time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I was asking if we'd done enough to level up.
Oh, yeah, yes, excellent. It has been so much that it is level up time.
Woo!
So everyone, during our break, we can also decide how we want to level our characters up.
Oh, good.
I will send you
wizard
your
level.
character file in Discord,
Okay.
so you can play with it offline.
And you still say no to Wings of Cover, right?
No to Wings of Cover. That's broken as it can be.
I don't think it's broken, but you were the DM. So.
How is it not broken? It makes you immune to any spell I want to cast at you.
No, it makes you immune to one spell around.
That's a lot, yeah. How many spells do you think I can cast?
Most
in a
wizards
round?
can cast 2 or 3.
Eh.
I think Jeeves needs a level of barbarian.
I'm not arguing, just it's more a philosophical thing than anything. It's fine. I've got other ideas.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm stopping the recording now.